Rowana had posted on her stories that, you know, there were going to be these signed editions, and again I was like, can't say no to that one. I'm known as the Hannah Grace girl for not one but two publishing houses. The reason for that is because I currently have 14 physical copies of Hannah Grace books in my bedroom. So I thought that I'd actually go through them all today, because why not? Hello my loves, I hope you're all well. If you're new here, my name is Rowena, and if you are not new here, then hiya, lovely to have you back. Yes, you heard correctly, I do in fact have, please hold, your call is very important to us. I currently have 14 physical copies of Hannah Grace books. And yes, I now have a bit of a reputation for my still growing collection, because I say still growing. At my lovely friend Hayley's house, I actually also have the Target special edition of Wildfire and the Walmart special edition of Icebreaker sitting at her house. But a question that I get very frequently on my socials, which I'm presuming that's probably you're here because of my other socials, but if you didn't know, I do have a book talk and a bookstagram account. All of my socials are Millennium Baby Girl Reads, because I clearly have no creativity. But something that I get commonly asked is how I have the books that I have, and also why. So I thought that I'd actually go through my books one by one and just give the backstory to them all. I think now I am incredibly grateful, and I'm very much aware of how privileged I am, but I have been gifted some of these, so I think what I'll do is I'll split them off into books that I've been gifted and ones that I bought myself, because I did buy a fair few, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, let's meet the babies, shall we? Now, whilst I'm sorting these, I will just quickly say that I will pop the ISBN number for the different editions up on the screen. If you didn't know, the ISBN number is it's the number that's kind of on the back of your book, by the barcode. And that is essentially the secret code, if you will, to tell you what book edition it is you're looking for. So if you are looking for any of these particular editions, I would recommend just grabbing the ISBN number and then popping it into the Google search engine, and then seeing if you can find it that way. Some of I guess the special editions, or the indie edition, I'd recommend getting from reseller sites like Pango, Macari, Vinted. I got one of mine from Vinted, which is a UK secondhand kind of place. Also Facebook Marketplace. I've seen a number of people post on Facebook Marketplace. I told myself I was going to give that explanation whilst multitasking, but I'm obviously not very good at that. What was that one? That's one I bought. Okay. Fantastic. Well done, Rowie. Okay. Anyway, I shall leave you for a sec and I will go through all of these. Okay, so first up, I will go through all of the Hannah Grace books that I bought myself, because yeah, I have bought quite a few, and honestly, absolutely no regrets. They're not in any specific order, it's just kind of what I've plonked beside me there. If you can hear any music in the background, I do apologize, but I do live at home, so I can't tell my family to shush. Oh, and you can now see all the empty space on my bookshelf. Oh well. Okay, first up, I will just start with the ones that I fit. These were the ones where I was very content with just having these two in my collection. I didn't necessarily go into reading Hannah Grace books expecting that I was going to be an edition collector. I was already collecting, as you can probably see behind me, a number of editions of Christian Becker Ritchie books. But you know what? Like I have said to some people, I've now got to the stage right now where it's my collection is, I don't know, there's so many in the collection that I'm kind of well, I've started, I might as well continue. I'm just collecting them like Pokemon at this point. I don't know what to tell you, but this is kind of mostly where my collection started. These are just the Australian traditionally published editions of Icebreaker and Wildfire. I remember I got this one just from my local bookshop. Now what I do with some books that I particularly love is any of I will maybe do double up. So I'll have the book that is traditionally published. It's like my reading copy, so that is one that I would lightly tab and annotate. This copy of Icebreaker was the first ever book I attempted to tab, and I didn't get very far. So I do plan on rereading it this year at some point and actually tabbing and annotating it more, because I don't know, it's just something that I want to do. But yeah, so some of the editions look a little bit different. I do not currently have any of the UK editions of Icebreaker, so I don't really have anything to, I don't have it to compare, if that makes sense. All I do know, according to my lovely friend Hope, is that I know that Nate has more, I think he's got facial hair on the UK edition, and also Stacy's boobs are like contoured, like you can actually tell that she actually has boobage. I do not have such things, so I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't have any special content in it, it's just your standard copy of Icebreaker. Again, same goes for this copy of Wildfire. I bought this from Booktopia because it is signed, and I was like, you know what, might as well. So like, I was perfectly content with this being my collection, particularly because of the signed aspect. Obviously they don't have any more signed editions anymore on Booktopia. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that they are going to be doing signed editions of Daydream by Hannah Grace, because she was away in Australia recently, and I saw that she posted basically like the same sorts of like inserts, but for Daydream. Something I will also note, and I can't believe I've been saying this, but I'm actually a Booktopia affiliate, so I will pop my affiliate link into the description box below, where I have different editions of Icebreaker, Wildfire, Krista and Becca Ritchie books, just a bunch of books that I love and I recommend. So if any of you Aussie and Kiwi loves wanted to buy something like from, I guess, my favorites, you can do so. I will just note, obviously, that I do get a small commission through the affiliate link, so if you want to skip out on that, that is totally fine, but I just thought I'd put that out there. But yes, also definitely look forward to pre-ordering Daydream, but I wouldn't do it just yet, just because they haven't specifically put that it's signed, if that makes sense. So I will pop up on my stories and stuff like that when that does occur, because I do not want you missing out. But yes, we have one Australian edition of Icebreaker and one of Wildfire. Next we have the indie edition of Icebreaker. Now if you're like me and you look into these little details, you'll see that the font is pretty much the same, except for the fact that the eye looks a little bit different, and I feel like this is more in bold, if that makes sense. And obviously the indie edition is taller, the spine is pink, and it says the UCMH series on the side, because now it's referred to as the Maple Hills series, I believe. Like, I think the series got a little bit of a name change. Otherwise, like, the cover is exactly the same, the content is exactly the same. Yeah, I used to have the indie edition like initially, but then before I started collecting book editions, a friend of mine, like, I kept telling her, like, you need to read Icebreaker, and she was just like, oh, I will, and she still wasn't. So I gave her my indie edition of Icebreaker. Obviously in like maybe July or something like that, I was like, okay, I'm obviously now collecting Hannah Grace books, really want the indie edition again. So my lovely friend Zoe actually bought this on my behalf from Vinted, and then she posted it to me, so thank you so much, Zoe, for that. But yeah, like I said, content exactly the same. It's a collector's piece, and I love it. Happy as Larry. I am happy as Larry. Okay, next up we have a couple of US editions of Icebreaker and Wildfire. Now this one, it doesn't have the sticker on it, so it made me a little bit concerned when it first arrived in the post, but this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Wildfire, so it has some bonus content in the back. I feel like one day I actually need to sit down with all of my books that have bonus content in them and actually read the bonus content, because I'm quite sure some of my books, like, I bought them because I'm like, oh, bonus content, and then I haven't actually read them. Like, I just like to know that I have the opportunity to have read them. It kind of feels like the whole Rachel Green moment, where it's just like, you know, maybe I didn't like want to like be like want to go out, but like still having the opportunity to say no thank you is there. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's move on. But yes, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of Wildfire. I don't know if they're still selling this, so it might be more so like a reseller website job for this one. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Then we have another signed edition of Wildfire, but again, this is the American edition. This is through Strand Books, which I believe is a bookshop in New York. But I remember Hannah had posted on her stories that, you know, there were going to be these signed editions, and again, I was like, can't say no. And she also added the fact that it was either like 800 or 900 people, I think it was, that bought one would have it personalized. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try. But like, you didn't know until your book arrived that it was personalized. And my one is in fact personalized. So I was very, very pleased with that one. So again, I know that they have had signed editions of both Icebreaker and Wildfire on Strand Books, but I think now it's more so that it's a signed book plate inside. So if you are wanting to go down that way, just know that it's a book plate. So if that's something you don't like, maybe skip. Okay, now this is a little bit ridiculous. I do realize this. This is the American edition of Icebreaker. The cover looks the same as the Australian one, except the spine is white and it's also taller. Okay, just trust that it's the same, like the Icebreaker is the same height, but do you see that? Like it's a little bit taller. Yeah, like I said, content, there's no special content in it. The reason why I got this is I didn't want my American edition of Wildfire to be lonely on my bookshelf, and that's why I bought it. So I will admit this one was a bit of a ridiculous purchase because it doesn't have anything necessarily special to it. I just wanted it in the collection. I got a whole ass book subscription just for these editions, and I'm hoping and praying that they will be doing some for Daydream. But these are the probably smart special editions of Icebreaker and Wildfire, because Wildfire was the October book of the month, I'm pretty sure, and then you could add on Icebreaker. I also do realize I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at the screen. It's just because these books are so beautiful and I can't stop staring at them. And these ones are also, I'm pretty sure they're digitally signed. Either way, I'm happy. Honestly, I got these just because of the beautiful covers. Like, oh, how could you not fall in love with these? Now, these do not have an ISBN number because you can't get them from like a traditional bookshop or bookseller. If you are looking for these, this is like a reseller website kind of situation. I've seen people selling them on, yeah, Pango, Mercari, maybe Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, I feel like it depends probably where you live. I feel like if you live in America, it's more likely to be on Facebook Marketplace. If you live in like New Zealand, Australia, the UK, anywhere that's not America, it's probably less likely, to be honest. But so beautiful, so obsessed. I can't get over them. Like, they're actually that stunning. I remember I was at work when I saw the release of these and my jaw dropped. I was like, and then I was like, okay, immediately waitlist, please. It was a need. Now the last, please don't fall, my love. Thank you. The last one in my books that I bought pile is the Works special edition of Wildfire. I really hope I've been saying the correct title, but like, you can see what book it is that I'm actually supposed to be talking about. So if I say the wrong one, I do apologize. What is special about this? Sprayed edges. Sprayed edges, babe. That's all it is. Sprayed edges. There's no special content in here. Sprayed edges. And I was like, yes, please and thank you. This has sprayed edges, so it doesn't have any special content in it. It just looks pretty. I feel like the lighting's probably not doing it justice, but it's like an ombre kind of effect, and I think this is beautiful. Yeah, so this is the UK edition of Wildfire. So I feel like it has less detail than like the Australian one. Like the UK one doesn't have like the cabin, and it's also a different shade of pink. So yeah. But yeah, those are all of the Hannah Grace books that I bought. So the reason why I have most of them is either because they are signed, they have special content in them, a pretty cover, even though Lenny Kaufman does the cover artwork for Hannah Grace books, which I just love anyway, or, you know, the American edition of Icebreaker, because I didn't want my books to be lonely. And that's that, really. Next up, I will move on to the books, which I cannot believe that I'm saying, but we'll move on to the Hannah Grace books that I was very kindly gifted, because oh my goodness. This one is the Asda special edition of Wildfire. So this is a UK edition. Now this one blows my mind, because I made a joke on my Instagram story regarding, like, oh my goodness, there's another special edition of Wildfire, but it's in the UK. Like, my friend who like sourced 2 Hannah Grace books for me, like, she's already sent the parcel. Like, of course this would happen to me. Like, I just made a joke about it. And then I got a DM from a lovely, lovely person that said, hey, I live in the UK, can I get this for you? And she posted it, like, she bought it for me and she posted it to me, and I'm just, it blows my mind, because I'm just like, what on earth did I do to deserve such a lovely, kind, generous gesture? Like, I have no idea. Like, honestly, like, it just blew my mind. So thank you so much, Rianne, for getting this for me and sending it. It means more than you'll ever know, because it's just, it's insane. All of these editions were very kindly sent to me by my loves at Simon Schuster Australia. So the first one that I was sent was the advanced reader's copy. This is the Aurora's version of the ARC. This is very special to me because this is my first ever physical ARC of a book that I ever received. And obviously it was a book that I was very much looking forward to reading, and also obviously in like the romance book talk bookstagram world, like, it was a highly anticipated book. So I was like, what on earth am I doing getting an advanced reader's copy of this? But yeah, I just, wow. So here it is. It is beautiful. It is amazing. If anyone ever thinks of pinching it off me, good luck. That's all I'm saying. Good luck. So you might be thinking, Rowena, that looks exactly the same as the Australian traditionally published edition that you showed right at the beginning of this video. And I guess you'd be correct, except for the fact, no, you are correct. This was actually in the, again, I can't believe I'm saying this, this was in the PR box for Wildfire. So again, not only did Simon Schuster Australia last year give me my first ever physical copy, like physical advanced reader's copy of a book, but they also sent me my first ever PR box. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but I actually do still have, oops, the cardboard box that my that the PR came in. I'm keeping that. Like, I'm keeping that. I think it's currently got some Christmas decorations in it, but like, I am 100% keeping that because, again, I'm a sentimental girl. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit sentimental. So yeah, I can't get rid of this because it has sentimental value to me. Yes, it sits on my pretty bookshelf, like my pretty special bookshelf. But yeah, the reason for why I'm keeping it, and again, why I like hold it so dearly, is, yeah, it's sentimental to me. Now, these two are my latest additions in my collection, and again, a lot of sentimental value. So I opened up this parcel from Simon Schuster Australia at the beginning of January, and I was like, oh, we have another Australian edition of Icebreaker and Wildfire. And I genuinely thought, God, I should really like go back my emails, like maybe like I said that I'd do like a giveaway or something with them regarding Hannah Grace books, because like, you know, anything where I would be promoting Hannah Grace stuff, like I will absolutely do. So I thought maybe I should like, you know, did I black out? Like what on earth has happened? And then I was kind of like, I don't know what, I was just flicking through and then I was like, that looks like a pen mark. And it is in fact a pen mark, because Simon Schuster Australia sent me signed and personalised copies of Icebreaker, and then also, again, I can't believe I'm saying this, of Wildfire. Again, what on earth did I do to deserve that? I have no idea. I have no idea. And then, of course, it's at that point that I saw the note, which I've since made into like a book plate, and I've popped in both Icebreaker and Wildfire, because again, I'm a sentimental girl like that. And it says, just sending a little bit of love from the team at Simon Schuster Australia, ... and Hannah Grace. And I'm just like, what on earth? How did we get to the point where, you know, like all I do is like, I read books, ones that I love, I fangirl about them on the internet. That's what I do. So how on earth did I get to the point where I have publishers and like people from my social media accounts gifting me these books? Like it's actually insane. And I'm so incredibly grateful. Like I cannot express that enough. Also, I'm very much looking forward to the collection growing once Daydream comes out, because best believe I will be trying to get as many different editions of that book as I can, because it's my thing. I'm the Hannah Grace girl. What can I say? What can I say? I realized that my coffee has been sitting in the background this entire video. It's probably very cold now, but it should be right. So yes, that brings me to the end of my current physical copy collection. I will note that I'm saying physical copy collection because of course I have Icebreaker and Wildfire on Kindle and on audio as well. Why? For emergencies. Why else would I have them on Kindle and audio? Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm sure it's probably rather eye-opening, but just like, why does one human need that many copies of Hannah Grace books? And to that I say, I don't know. But I wouldn't have it any other way. But yes, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope seeing my face and hearing my voice did not make it worse for you. Love you. Bye.